Welcome back to Superstarglam. Today's video is going to be a demo and review video on the Huda Beauty Smokey Obsessions palette. I only picked up this palette and it is what I am wearing on my eyes today. So if you're interested to see a demo and my final thoughts on this palette, then just keep watching. I'm going to take that light brown and apply it all over my crease area. You definitely have to build it up at least to show up in my on my skin tone. So far it's really nice and soft and blends out nicely. Okay. I'm going to take one of these brown shades, probably the lighter one, and I just lightly tap on it. Like I dab very lightly on the shadows and there's not much kickoff, but if I swirl it, then you do get a little bit more kickoff. I'm just going to apply this on the crease area. Tilting my head makes me find my crease a little easier. So far they're decently pigmented, meaning even if you swirled your brush, you're not getting too much pigment that you lay too much and you have to do more work. It's definitely buildable. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So some shadows that the minute you dip your brush in and swirl it, you've already picked up so much product that as soon as you apply it to your eye, it becomes a little bit harder to blend that out. I definitely had to build it up to get it to this intensity. Not bad, it's just I'm being more cautious, but it definitely blends out very nicely. I'm gonna go in with the next shade over the other darker brown. So it looks like one is a little more richer in brown, like a little warmer, and then the other one's a little deeper and cooler. Yeah, this one's definitely deeper. I'm going back and forth between those browns just to really intensify. Yeah, they blend out really nice. Now at this point, I guess the downfall of me reviewing this palette is that I can't really compare to the original or the desert, what is it called? Desert Dusk Sunset palette. I don't know what it's called. To say if these perform just as good as those. I'm just doing it based on my personal opinion and preference. Yeah, that deeper brown is kind of, it gives off a little bit more like grayish tone, so it's definitely more cool tone. So a positive is that you can definitely take this so much more warmer with all the rich tones, or because they did throw in a silver shade, you can definitely make this a cool tone smoky eye. It's thought out very well in terms of that, having two browns. So when you look at it, you're like, well, why do I need two browns? And that's really why. So on that, I actually get it, and I can appreciate the palette to be really versatile. Since it is like a little mini palette, it is a palette that you can travel with. You can definitely take this and use it as a daytime appropriate look, or a definitely smoky nighttime look. All these shimmery shades are so pretty. I think I'm gonna go with this lighter one. I'm gonna take MAC Painter Paint Pot, whatever it's called. And I'm going to apply that lighter shade and pack it on. It's very buttery, creamy shade, so it's not like chunky glitter. You don't get a lot of fallout. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and go into the black. I'm going to swatch it first and see how black this is. It's pretty matte and it's not patchy at all. So with a pencil brush, I'm like applying the the color. And then with my smaller fluffy brush, I'm going to tap just a little bit onto it and blend that out. So far, blends out really, really nicely. Just to add more like gradient effect, I'm going to layer on 2 more shimmers. I'm going to go in with this one right here and then the brown smoky to transition out to the darker part. So the inner is going to be the lightest, then it transitions to this next shade, and then I'm gonna apply that deeper brown and buff it out right here in the darker area. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna apply some gel liner. I'm gonna take the black and kind of buff out the edge. I messed up on the eyeliner, so it's not as precise, so just going over it with shadow to kind of smoke it out, and then you can't really tell that you messed up. Okay, so I'm going to work on this eye, do the rest of my face, finish off the bottom of the eye. So this is the completed look using the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette. Looks like this. And my final thoughts on this palette is that if you are like me and you've been hesitating to pick up her other palettes that she created because it is a hefty price, it just hasn't been a palette that I've been wanting to spend the money to get, so that's why I haven't purchased it in the past. It is a hefty $65. I don't know, I mean, there's nothing negative that I can say that why I haven't picked them up. It's just a hesitation. It's not a palette that I look at and I say I have to have in my collection for whatever reason. So yeah, so the fact that she came out with these smaller mini, I mean, these are really mini, like they fit in the palm of my hand. When I got it in the mail, I was pretty shocked how small it is, but now I kind of like it for that it's so tiny and small, yet it still has a little like mirror, so it's like almost the size of a compact, so I like that. So if you've been like me that you've hesitated to get her previous palettes, this would probably be something that you would want to pick up. It's really, really good shadows. They blend out really good. The highlight shades in here are so creamy. They're not glittery or chunky or have much fallout. It's like a creamy consistency, so when you apply it you don't get any fallout at all. So I love the fact that she created these smaller palettes that are $27. I didn't mind spending $27 on these little palettes. I'll probably pick up one more just because I'm a sucker for colors, and that other palette that she had with all the array of shades, that was the other palette I was looking at. So I might do that, and I might pick up the other one, but I think I will get a lot more use out of this palette than I will out of her other palettes. So I like the fact that I got the more neutral shades, everyday shades, so this could be like an everyday palette. For the price, I also appreciate that it did come with a mirror. When I first looked at this, I was pretty bummed that there wasn't a matte lighter shade to set the eye or highlight the brow bone. But once I started playing with it and I realized what she did in this palette in particular, I don't know the rest of them, but in this palette in particular, since it is a smoky palette, she gave you the option of all the shimmers that could possibly be created with a warm smoky eye, but also gave you the option of having a cool tone smoky eye with that silver shade that she threw in there, which is really beautiful, really, really metallic, and gave you also another brown which is cool tone, and that gives you basically this row right here gives you a cool tone smoky look. I would definitely recommend you, like I said, if you're like me and don't want to spend the hefty money on her other palettes, I would definitely spend my money and buy the smaller palettes, this would probably be a good way to try out her shadows and see if you'd want to invest in the bigger palettes. Let me quickly show you these swatches. Man, they're so creamy. It's insane how creamy these are. Every shade in here can pack a punch in pigment. So that was it for this review demo slash swatch video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you next time. Bye.